Felicitations, my family of fledglings. Whenever I do that, like, oh, look down there and do a thing, it's because there's a button that I leave on, which is mute mic, so I don't hear myself talking to myself while I set up the stream. So I have to unmute to say hello. And ghosts! It's so good to unsee you. Thank you for waiting like an hour and a half for me to start my stream. It's crazy late, but I'm here. Thank you for your patience. The lady folk in this house, Oz, and the kiddos, the crotch goblins, they were at a pool party today, which is amazing. It's awesome. And they came home late, and dinner was late, and bedtime was late, and setting up after bedtime stuff was late. And I felt this sort of oppression of, I want to start it an hour and a half ago, whatever time that is for you in your time zone. And in that oppression, in that oppressive feeling, I was like, you know what? I will start when I am ready. I will get the show going. I will make sure that tonight goes. But I will not hold myself accountable to a clock. Which was good, because I had something of an emergency random bio break, and I made a snack run for Oz, who wanted to snack because she's a snack goblin, and I set up everything in my layout in my own time, because for reasons that a few of you know, namely the ghosts, this gets torn down every night and gets set back up every time I stream. Yeah. And yeah. So I'm not too apologetic. The stream finally started, and tonight's topic is propaganda. Why propaganda? Why do this? I think the majority of my branding really is a counter propaganda brand. Why are you here? You're here to watch some gaming, but really, more so, this stream exists because yours truly is an anti-programmer. Humans get programmed all the time. Well, yeah, I should say I'm an anti-human programmer. I don't go around anti-programming computers, but I do try to anti-program people. There's so much culty thinking happening today, and that's in organized religion, that's in organized politics, that's in our day-to-day grind. You know, if you live in a capitalist society, the people that want you to keep making money for them would love for you to be happy with your paycheck and happy with whatever small trinkets that you can get on a month-by-month basis or whenever your paycheck comes in. Troa! Hi and welcome. Someone mentioned needing a cult. Well, here's the thing. I want to start a cult. I do. I am here. Can I get the mic as close to my mouth as possible and get really close to the camera? I am here to start a cult. I would like to start a cult. I would like to start a cult that creates thinkers, that creates consciable, is that the right word? Conscientious, that's probably the better word. Conscientious, salient, active thinkers. You come home from your day job, and instead of disconnecting, you connect, you optimize, you consider, you question, you enforce ideas that are correct, because I think being a skeptic of everything is antithetical to good, proper critical thinking. I think when things are proven to be good, or at least heuristically good, look up the word heuristic or heurism, they are worth adopting. So I do think that there are systems. I don't shit on everything. I think some systems, even if they're untrue or incomplete, are worthy of adopting because of their outcomes. And then everything else, put their feet to the fire. Actually consider what you've been fed and why. Yeah. I'd like to start an anti-cult of sorts. Hello, Haley. I'm a goober and had Twitch muted, so I was confused why I still didn't hear you say anything because I was getting food. Hell yeah, it's still the call. I've considered making like a cult framework around what we do. Sort of a person excuse me, personality centric, because people love cults of personality, right? Personality centric, because my face is on camera, my voice is on camera, right? So you all hear me, or my voice is on microphone, not camera. You all hear me, you all see me. Obviously, there's going to be some like tethering to me as a personality. So fine, make it a cult of personality. Create a movement. Create like, oh hello, hi Risa. Create roles and divisions and maybe even tiers, so that some people are like better than others, and do all of this because some people fall into this sort of trap, and then absorb the people that are looking for a cult, looking for a thought movement, something that's going to solve like all the problems that they have in their life, right? And then it's just us underneath everything. So we create the cult structure, we bring people in, we cultify them, and then we say, here's how to avoid future cults, here's how to avoid propaganda, here's how to avoid getting programmed, here's how to become a master of your own life so that people cannot take control of you, so that people cannot manipulate you into believing things that you don't want to believe. And we empower them using the cult mindset. Because if we just come from a place of, hear me out, this is why I want to start a cult. This wasn't where I was going to start, but I like where this is going. Also, 25 stream streak, Risa. Holy crap, thank you. You're down for a decult? Awesome. We have good uniforms, I think. Also, damn, Instagram is like not, is Instagram even, okay, good. Instagram is working. I fear Instagram will not finish tonight's stream in 4 hours. 2, I removed myself from the 2K Twitch beta, and you know what happened? Kick started working again. I even switched Kick to what's the word I'm looking for? I changed specifically the encoding so that it would use a lower reso. Save what? Kit, save what? Hi, Kit. Kit, I missed you. At the very end of last conversation, life. At the end of last conversation, you went radio silent for a while, and I got sad because I like Kit in my life. Also, this is something that I fail to do on a regular basis, and I don't know why. This is a fault of mine. Oh, you fell asleep. Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't say, like, I started to think about like all the things that I said on live stream, and I was like, did I say something that pushed Kit away? What did I do? How did I disenfranchise? Because of all the people that I want close in my life. But also, This needs to happen more often. The We So Punny channel. This is not obviously Kit's screen name, but this is a very important channel for you to follow. Please.
Do you have parents? No, I'm a Disney princess.
Shit, is that what happened?
Oh, that was dark.
Just kidding, I'm just kidding.
God bless.
Yes, please go follow We So Punny. Kit is one of 2 collaborators on that channel, and they do a good job. They're consummate entertainers, just like naturally good at what they do without any media training. Yeah. Sorry, hang on. Let me catch up the chat, and we'll catch up with what we were, and then I'll continue with my my rant. I'm a goober and had. Oh wait, we already read that one. I have minions, not cult members, but close enough for me. Minions are good. Yeah, I like minions. Yeah, tonight we're going to be discussing propaganda. Yeah. I love that sentence. Hear me out. This is why I want to start a cult. Yeah, Kick did not like the Twitch 2K. Well, hello. Hi, Stuart. Your hair is looking good. Thank you. Everybody who says my hair right here, right at it's not even all the way down to my jaw or down to my chin, but like it's down to my jaw level, like medium jaw. Wait, longer than yours right now? Really? This is not where I feel comfortable. For those of you that are curious, I'm trying out a Louis from Interview with the Vampire, like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise era, not the newer version. I'm trying that length and that hairstyle and that clothing. So I also, I want you to donate to Throne, and I haven't added anything to Throne. So here's a problem of mine. I have a Throne link on my Twitch profile, and I have almost nothing added to that profile, but I need to go look for some nice specific era, vampire slayer sort of garb, because I think the long hair plus the garb is like, you know what I mean. That's something that I'm personally geared toward, that I want to do. So I feel like my hair isn't where I want it to be, but if you like where it is, cool. I'm pleased that you like it. I still want to keep growing it longer. Just got it cut so it is the right length by Halloween. Oh, interesting. You're loving the hair as well? Here's the thing. When I have my hair short, I have a certain amount of attention. There's a certain demographic of people. And as a guy, like as girls, you get compliments probably all the time, often from people you don't necessarily want compliments from. But as guys, we just don't get random compliments. The most compliments I ever got in my life, just on a density basis, was because my brother-in-law gave me a t-shirt that had the PlayStation logo, and underneath it was not the English word PlayStation, but the Japanese word PlayStation. And people loved the crap out of that shirt. And they would say in in their best Japanese, because I live in the US, but in their best Japanese accent, they'd look at my shirt, point and be like, PlayStation. You know, they'd say it. And they get really excited for seeing that shirt. But let's be real. They're complimenting the shirt that was a gift, not me. So I don't get a lot of compliments. Most guys probably don't. And I blame guys for this, not girls, because I think guys, when they get compliments, get weird. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's weird. But I will say that when I keep my hair short, there's a certain demographic of usually female out there that looks at my hair and is like, short hair, looking fresh, looking like tight and well groomed, well cut, and they give me a certain look that as a guy, I get a vibe, like, oh, you're liking my overall aesthetic. But when I grow my hair out, I think I'm starting to look more raggedy. I'm starting to look more unkempt. I'm starting to feel like I haven't had, a proper haircut in a while. And I don't know what's going on with my style. And I'm moving towards something, but I don't know what it is. And right now, I feel like I'm in an awkward middle phase where I haven't achieved my goal. So I'm not well kempt and I'm not at goal. And yet, now, right around this length, I'm getting a lot of compliments. A lot. And especially from females, I usually do not get active compliments. Just very, very hinty, passive, from a distance sort of physication, right? But there must be something to it. I feel like long hair is significantly higher engagement for me, for my look, than short hair. Why? Don't know, but it is. Yeah, it is. I've been on nerve painkillers and muscle relaxers. I've been falling asleep in streams. Oh no. I'm working toward getting another round of neck injections, but until then on meds. I know you're sort of an open book online. Do you mind sharing what's going on? Like why all of the really heavy meds for everything? With the wave in your hair, it gives more Lestat, but new TV shows Lestat. Yeah. I know. And I know like there's no part of me that like looks like Brad Pitt, except maybe the hair color or anything. But I'm just looking for like that length, like sort of like resting against my collarbone kind of length. That's roughly sort of the direction I'm going for. Obviously, I'm not trying to look like anybody but me, really. My hair is going to grow the way it grows. It's going to get the length it does. And with the wave or non-wave, depending on how heavy it feels when it gets longer, it'll just be what it is. So I'm really just trying to be me. But the longer hair speaks to sort of the era that I've always felt like I'm most comfortable in, which is sort of like the King George era, called the Georgian era. There's sort of like an early, mid, and late Georgian era, if you look historically. And by late Georgian, by the end of his reign, the Enlightenment had come in, and a bunch of men had decided that men are rational, thinking beings and deserve to be nothing aesthetic and everything reason-based. And so all of the fashion, all of the culture, and all of the sort of momentum that had existed in Western European culture for men had been shelved away. These people basically won the culture war, and they said men don't deserve any of those things. Men really need to be respected for their thoughts and not for how they look. And why not both? In my opinion, why would you put away part of you? Why not look a certain level of beauty that suits what you want to present, how you want to identify in the world, and also be clever? If you say, I cannot look pretty and be clever at the same time, that, to me, that's a shortcoming on your personality. You can do both. In fact, it's probably controversial in today's day and age to be both, because I feel like we've long since made this stereotype, maybe unspoken, maybe spoken, that you're either highly attractive, highly intellectual, or neither, but you're never both. No one is ever both. And I challenge us to rise to a better standard. Maybe that's part of the cult too. Hair is the first thing I noticed about people. Long hair on guys. Oh, chef's kiss. Yeah. I get so many compliments on my jacket. I take it as a compliment for me since I did the work designing it. Oh, absolutely. You just need a really good curly hair routine. To be fair, I don't know anything about skin, face, beard care, hair care. I would love to learn these things so that I present better, so that we pull better numbers and turn this into a business and are able to pay the bills doing this thing. That would be great. Yeah. So yeah, I need many good routines. Raggedy is the aesthetic? Interesting. I don't know if I perceive myself as raggedy. Hopefully not. I mean, maybe I'd be curious to do a poll to see if raggedy is better or if better kempt long hair is better. I do really love your curls. They look nice on you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just washed my hair today and I did nothing to it afterwards. I washed, I let it air dry, and I came straight to the show. Yeah. Teresa liking the raggedy look is how I got her to like me, because you naturally rock that raggedy. I love it when the girls cutting my hair ask what kind of product I use to style my hair, because I've never needed any to get a look I like. I'm not opposed to doing things with products and style regimens. I just haven't studied that realm, but I think I would like to. Yeah. Aesthetic matters to me. Substance matters to me. I like both worlds. I really think that we as humans should not sacrifice one for the other. Just because you look like you never have worn makeup, done your hair, or considered fashion doesn't mean you're clever. And just because you know a lot of high-level academic interest topics doesn't mean you don't care about aesthetics. We should be at a point where the best of us should be able to manage both. Yeah? You think? You had emo hair in your pics? Oh, Stuart did? Saying things like, well, you're probably going to need mousse or styling gel to get it to do that. And I'm just like, nah. Oh, Kid says, my spine is really into cosplaying a snake. Oh, no. I have two places where it curves wrong. My lower back lordosis and midway scoliosis. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oz has moderate scoliosis. And I know what lordosis is. Yeah. All of that has caused some neck issues trying to compensate for gravity and balance. Obviously, yeah. C2 through 7 are pretty much arthritic. Oh my gosh. The discs are degenerating and the nerve canal is becoming more narrow. This clamps down on the nerves. So, I mean, yeah, painkillers are going to be a thing, but is there anything that reverses that sort of development? Like what kind of options do you have? I got you. I'm going to start sending you every curly routine I see on TikTok and such. Yeah, do it. Are we friends on TikTok yet? Just search my name. You'll find me. But legit, I can ask my stepmom for things she recommends since she has curly Irish hair. Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. Recently, I slipped a disc and the nerve is being pinched hard. Oof. Muscle spasms and nerve pain. Couldn't move my neck for a week until a round of steroids. All around good times. Even better if you can't tell anything is wrong without an MRI. Oh my gosh, yeah. I get to fight insurance because they like to think I'm being dramatic, which is fair. I am dramatic, but this is legit. Here's the thing. Like, if you talk to a specialist and say, do you think this requires an MRI, and you get a specialist vouch, oftentimes they can submit their findings to insurance. And as long as it doesn't come from you, if it comes from someone else, then insurance is going to cover it no matter what. Almost guaranteed. Not sure, but we'll be now. Time to go find D on TikTok. Find me on everywhere, on everything. This is not just for Haley, but for literally everybody. If you have a social medium and you think, I like D, I want D's wife and children to succeed in life, go follow me on those platforms and help me reach. Obviously not every platform monetizes. You know, if I get a lot of followers on Facebook, is Facebook going to start paying me? Nope. There's no Facebook partner payment plan out there as far as I know. But find me on the social media that you like and add me and make it happen and help me grow. Yeah, please. I get a steroid injection every few years. Eventually I can get surgery, but it's sort of a last resort. Yeah, I wonder, surgery for that sort of thing, like I want to assume that in 2025, we've nailed it, right? We know how to widen nerve canals, do neurological surgeries, benefit the spine, benefit the spinal column. It seems like something we would have solved by now. But I had a blood clot in my femoral vein. Yeah, vein. And it was surprising how little they had to offer to help me out and to find the issue. And I have an ear, like a hearing problem in my left ear. And I had an MRI. And I had lots of I've had 3 different ENTs look at it. And the number one response to whatever is happening in my left ear, it's my left ear, is, well, let's get you fitted for hearing aids, which is 100%. Let's find a solution that will fix the fix the symptom, but not address the cause. Nobody is looking at the cause. It's pathetic. And so I feel like we have this concept of where healthcare ought to be, and then you go in and try to find good solutions to more complex issues. They don't exist. They really don't. Most of the medical industry is not trying to prevent and not trying to stem the cause. It's trying to address the symptom, address the effect. Cause and effect. Usually we'd look at the cause in most logical thinking, right? Let's address the cause. But the medical industry, and maybe this is pushed by bad patients or something, I don't know. But if you're a doctor and you're a specialist, you should push back. If all of your patients just say, forget it, doc, I don't want to change my lifestyle. Just give me a pill. Just give me a pill to fix this. Damn. I would still push back. If you're a specialist, if you say, I know better, I've had years of schooling over you, and I keep up with, modern research, and I know better than you. Let's fix the cause. Convince your patients. But I've heard a lot of doctors say that the vast majority of their patient base wants an immediate fix for the effect, for the symptom. And that they get bullied out of talking about prevention or out of talking about fixing the cause. Yeah. They should do better, I think. Sorry, I already read that one. TikTok and Instagram have been followed? Yeah. I meant to follow before and it's just slipped my mind. We're becoming better friends. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for supporting the household. Ultimately, what you are doing is giving just another drop in the bucket toward content creation, supporting Oz and the kiddos. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you. I can get the injections more often, but they cost around $700 to $1,700 depending on where we are with the deductions. That's under insurance? That's painful. That is painful. Google says the primary surgical options include discectomy. How does that even work? With or without spinal fusion and artificial disc replacement. Discectomy removes the damaged portion of the disc while spinal fusion joins vertebrae to stabilize the spine. Which doesn't sound good. Our spine is made up of separate vertebrae for a reason, right? Without them being separate, where does our functionality and ability to move and flex our bodies, where does that go? Artificial disc replacement replaces the damaged disc with an artificial one aiming to preserve movement. Okay, well, that's better. I want you guys to succeed, so I'll support how I can always. Thank you. What's up, Stream Hive? Looks like you are a bot. Please ignore that guy. If he even came up on chat, I don't think he came up on chat for you guys. Paid insurance is a ripoff. You usually have to pay thousands in a year before they will cover everything. Here's the thing, and I've looked into this, so I'm curious. Has anybody else done research on this and maybe knows better than I have? I've only done like maybe 20% the amount of research I need to do. If you say, you know what, insurance companies, I don't want you. You cost too much on an annual basis. Here's the amount I pay. And then on top of that, even with your discounts, here's what I pay in medical fees. What if I just cut out insurance entirely? Obviously, when you go to hospitals and you say, I don't have insurance, they take out a different book, right? The costs book is like based on what insurances you have or not. So if you say not, they flip to a different, you get everything costs a different price based on whether they have to gouge United Healthcare or whatever, or if you say I'm just an independent consumer. So you get different costs there. Here's my question. Does anybody know, do you actually save money if you say no to the insurance companies and you say, I just want to pay out of pocket? Yes, you save entirely the amount that you would pay insurance companies on an annual basis. You pay them per paycheck, per month, per whatever it is that you have set up with your insurance company. Or you just don't pay them. You say, I don't want health insurance. And there used to be a penalty for not having health insurance. It was removed. I wish I could credit somebody really nice in administration for this. Unfortunately, I have to say, out of all the negative things I want to say about the Trump administration, the one positive thing I could say about the Trump administration is they did remove the penalty for not having health insurance. So if you don't have health insurance, you don't pay a penalty to the government. And if you don't have health insurance, then my question is, does the totality of pharmaceuticals, medical procedures, and everything else that can happen to you, does it cost less on average? Obviously, everybody's going to have a different experience. Does it cost less on average than if you paid some company the insurance dues and got their discounts? 6,000 individual and 11,000 family deductible for hours. Woof. For a normal healthy person, you probably don't save money. I haven't done the math. I have lots of health issues, so it might save me money if I didn't have Medicaid. Oh, so you are on Medicaid. That's definitely a big help. And that's one, but also that's one thing that's being looked at by our current administration for potential reductions, right? Isn't that the one big beautiful bill or whatever it's called, the OBBB? I think it's only 3 Bs. I'm just being funny. That they are looking at, among other things, trying to offset their incredible costs, their massive expenditures, by, in part, cutting what they spend into Medicaid. Which is scary. Who knows if I'll still have Medicaid? Yeah. I didn't think I would need to, but I do. I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back, you guys. We haven't even talked about the propaganda topic of tonight, but we will. So I will be right back. Tell us about Blood Moon Menagerie in your own words.
I make shiny things. If you like shiny things and you have holes in your face, or if you don't have holes in your face, if you have a neck, I also make shinies for that. I also make shiny things if you wear glasses on your face, because especially if you bend over and they fall off your face, or you sneeze and they come flying off your face, or you can't fucking find the things that belong on your face. I make a chain for that. Yeah, I do all the shiny things, and if you can't find a shiny thing that you normally like as far as shiny things, I make them how you like them, or whatever. Fuck you. Go away. Buy my stuff. How come hi?
Let's try for that little white glowy. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Oh, how did he hurt me? That's so rude. 55 health taken away from me for nothing. Just because I slammed into his behind the wrong way. I didn't know there was a wrong way until it happened. Alright.
Dorothy Miller, how about Cool Dentax? The paste provides exceptionally white teeth.
No, she would rather pass.
Dorothy Miller, can you hold my camera so I can pee?
Oh, went up to a 3.
Dorothy Miller.
Oh shit, there should have...
4. 7.
No guilds, no builds.
No guilds, no builds.
Not much 411.
Oh,
What?
a directory.
What do we see? Oh, how did you meet me? What's our backstory? You met me on the road to Markarth. I was headed there because and then when we are in the kitchen, we also, you know, procreated twice recently, and so those like little toddler sort of things, they like to fight, they like to get underfoot, they like to cause the biggest problems when we're making food, because that's when our hands are dirty and it's hard to deal with them.
Cool.
All right.
What are you wearing?
I don't know. I just picked whatever.
Kind
You
of an
don't
intimate
actually
question to
unlock
ask.
anything fun for a long time. What was that, Oz?
That was kind of an intimate question to ask. What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
Yeah, if you were just using this as ASMR, this just got weird. Mars, why did you emote what you did? I actually don't know how to get my horse back up now. Oh my. I remember that clip. That was when we got robbed when we shouldn't have been robbed. It's true. All right, let me catch up with chat. Ever tried chiropractic? I can feel you. Say, yeah, chiropractic is it's a mixed bag, right? I have minor scoliosis in my lumbar spine and a reverse curve, and degenerative arthritis in my cervical spine. Oof. Talking about just taking pain meds for the symptoms, it's just not enough. Well, and again, that's addressing literally just your symptoms, right? You will never fix the cause of those things doing that. You will be addicted for life to a symptom-based regimen. That's why I love chiropractors over the regular doctor. They're making a physical change in your spine. Maybe. I've watched a lot of documentaries on chiropractic. My father was a chiropractor. And I don't have 100% what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence in chiropractic medicine. It's helped me a lot at bone cushion too, but it has reversed some of the negative curve and reduced the severity of scoliosis. I have to be careful with the bone cushion, but it allows more nerve flow and helps keep the bones from fusing together. Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot do chiropractic, but I have seen it help people immensely. My top vertebra is C-shaped. Oh my. Instead of O-shaped, making me a very big liability. Oh yeah. It might be. They wouldn't want to take you on for the malpractice, right? Doctor says I'm medically interesting. Oh no. That's not necessarily something you want to hear, right? I had one chiropractor I went to that refused to do my neck because of the fusion, because it can chip board. Just chip. Sorry, I see. Oh, autocorrect, right? Chip the bone and then would need surgery to remove. But aside from that one, I've talked to those who will do it. Helps so much. Utilize the physical therapy moves and stretching they taught me to help my range of motion and movement. Nice. Oh, bone fusion. Gotcha. But keep saying cushion. Yeah, bone cushion does sound goth. Bone cushion sounds like a really like fluffy goth whose body is kind of cushiony. Yeah. So tonight's topic is propaganda, how much you think you're absorbing, and whether or not there's anything we can do to try to resolve it. The reason why I decided to discuss propaganda is because I've been on Xiaohongshu, which is also known in America as Red Note. Me being a Mandarin speaker, I will often call it Xiaohongshu because Red Note is not the same thing as Xiaohongshu, like by definition. Xiao means little, Hong means red, and Shu means book. So it's like little red book, not Red Note. It's just a little bit different. And also, like, if the official name is Xiaohongshu and I can pronounce it, which I can, I'm probably just going to provide the official name rather than calling it what it is. When I started, it was right at the TikTok, what's the word I'm looking for? Exodus. And so there were a lot of Americans asking like, hey, Chinese Xiaohongshu users, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of Mandarin speakers saying, hey, American Xiaohongshu, or like TikTok refugees was the term. Hey, American TikTok refugees. And then ask them the questions. And so there's a lot of questions and cultural trade back and forth. And it's a really exciting platform for that reason. There's a lot less of that happening now, and it's starting to like settle in on what you would consider normal social media practices. And Xiaohongshu is somewhere between. It's not really a TikTok culture equivalent. It's somewhere between how we would see or maybe among, since between means two, right? Among means three or more. It's among Pinterest, Instagram, and TikTok, but it's also its own vibe. Xiaohongshu is demographically majority middle class, not lower class, not upper class, but middle class female Chinese users. And so that's a very specific demographic, and you'll see more content leaning toward their proclivities than not. There's also something that happens in China that does not happen in the US. And I blame the US for this. I don't know how to blame the US for this because I don't know what's happening, but something is happening. And that is on Xiaohongshu, you are bound to find kids or parents posting their kids on a short form social media. Now on YouTube, posting like family vlogging and kid stuff, and like especially on YouTube Kids, there's kids all over the platform. It's not a big deal. But when you find a kid on TikTok, a lot of people freak out. Like they believe that kids should not be on social media, and especially not on TikTok. Even though TikTok has no explicit content, they're like, oh my God, what's a kid doing on here? And there's a lot of kid-driven content on Xiaohongshu. And I know this because I have 2 kids and they like to watch kid content on my account. So I get fed a bunch of kids. And at first, I started to feel the weirdness too. I was like, oh God, what is an 8-year-old doing on my feed? And then I realized they're just doing like a stupid dance or a craft or making a silly face. Basically things that 11-year-olds or 8-year-olds do or whatever. And so at first I was like, oh, there's something weird happening. You know, how dare Xiaohongshu show me children? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's not nefarious, and that's just sort of a weird. Americans think nefarious things when they see kids on social media, but this Chinese platform, it's really never seen as nefarious, and there's never anything that's like dangerous. So it's just a cultural shift. It's just weird. And of course, my kids like seeing more kid-driven content than having adults talk to them about adult things. They don't want that kind of stuff. But I was first driven by talking about propaganda tonight because somebody asked about the West China Uyghur situation, the ethnic group that is majority Muslim, majority sort of a different skin tone, different ethnic background, that are in the Xinjiang province in the far northwest of the country, and that Americans are taught that there are basically like genocide situations happening there, and concentration camps and all that, and re-education camps and labor camps being set up there. And so people were asking about that kind of stuff, and the answers from the Chinese people on the platform were different than what I expected, but also not surprising after I read them, and led me to make tonight's topic. Let's catch up to chat. Oh, just the one. True and new aesthetic. My cat Nightshade is a bone cushion. Yeah. Nightshade's a good bean. So what a lot of the Mandarin-speaking Chinese or China-based Xiaohongshu users said when Americans would ask, hey, what's the status on the Uyghurs in Xinjiang in the west of your country? What's going on there? They would say a couple things. They would say, what you have heard is propaganda to make China look bad. And they would also say, why don't you go to Xinjiang yourself? Which I feel is kind of dismissive, because, you know, are they really telling Americans you should have the money to travel, go to this place, see it with your own eyes, and come to a solution, come to a conclusion based on your own personal evidence? It feels a little dismissive. It feels kind of like, do you remember back in the day when people were debating sort of, there's a lot of debate bro culture on the internet, and I feel like a lot of people would start off with, have you even read blah, blah, blah by so-and-so? Well, if you haven't, we can't even have this discussion because you're not educated in the truth of the matter. You know, you don't know the proper argumentation. Why don't you read so-and-so's treatise on this? You know, why don't you buy this book first, read 800 pages, and then come back to me, and then we'll have this debate. Which just, it very much sounds like it's gatekeeping. And in fact, the only person to have ever done this to me in a live stream, I remember exactly the topic, and I remember the person, but I don't remember their screen name to be able to shout them out or expose them. I remember asking them, if you want me to be educated in a certain person's point of view before you and I can even talk on a topic. In this case, the topic was the male gaze in cinema. In other words, how women are exploited visually in media, in modern media. And they said, you really need to know so-and-so's work, so-and-so's research on this matter. I said, in retaliation, can you please sum up their ideas? Can you give me one cohesive stance that they take? And we can talk about that stance. We can talk about a specific point that they come to. Let's distill this person's work, as opposed to you putting, you know, prospectively thousands of pages of reading on my lap and saying you will not discuss with me until I've read this, instead of gatekeeping me out of a conversation. Why don't you tell me the essence of their argument, and I will debate you on those essences, on those key points. Soundbite it for me. Let's skip to the part where we can engage. But I feel like people make those comments so that they can escape engagement because they're scared of the actual engagement. If you haven't read War and Peace in the original language, then we can't even relate. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So the interesting part about the Chinese response to being asked about the Uyghur internment camps is that, one, they say the West exudes propaganda. Western media is full of propaganda, which implies that the Chinese media engine, the media industry, never engages in propaganda. If you live in the US or anywhere in the West, you are subject to media corruption. But good Chinese citizens will never be exposed to that because the Chinese government would never involve themselves in propaganda, is the implication. Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever says, because I live in China, we get factual news all the time by nature of us being in this country. But the contrapositive is there, where they say, oh, you live in the West. You are subject to the media machines of where you live. You will never know the truth because you will only ever eat propaganda. How is that possible? How could you make that assertion and believe that nothing is happening to you in your country? The other weird part is, as many Xiaohongshu users as I've heard say this, it baffles my mind. They say if you think that there's something dangerous happening to the Uyghurs in the Xinjiang province, go to Xinjiang and tell me what you see. Do you think that a government would create concentration camps and allow foreigners to see it? It baffles my mind that a Chinese person would not imagine, could not conceptualize a government that creates concentration camps and then hides them from visitors. So if you go to Xinjiang province, you see a beautiful, flourishing city, you see Uyghurs there having a great time, and you think, the news is wrong, there's no such thing as a Uyghur concentration camp, because I'm seeing their flourishing city, and nowhere else on this province probably has a concentration camp, because look how beautiful things are in the place I'm allowed to see. Now, I'm not making the argument by saying this that I know the concentration camps exist. As a matter of fact, thanks to this Xiaohongshu user base, I've also discovered that the people reporting on these concentration camps basically reduced down to one or two investigatory committees, and that they may have biases. So the fact that we can't verify through unbiased third-party multiple resources as to how the Uyghurs are being treated in this province does speak to some possible truth to the idea that there's a group out there that is trying to disenfranchise the world from China, knock China down a peg and say, look, they're doing all these awful things to this certain racial group or the certain ethnic group or the certain religious group. Look at what they're capable of. And that reminds me of how the... Does everybody know who Shen Yun is? Let me pull something up here. Let me switch screens here too, because we've been on Final Fantasy for quite a while. Just hasn't been visible on the screen. Shen Yun dance. I like how I type Shen Yun and it says cult. Whoops, not videos. Everybody's seen these advertisements, right? You all know who these people are, yeah? What you might not know is if you've only seen the advertisements for this dance troupe. It's like, oh, it's like Chinese Cirque du Soleil, right? I mean, look right here. I just randomly grabbed one. This is about, I don't know, Clay County, and I don't know, I haven't read this little article here, but already they say China before communism. And then they're like, Shen Yun dance. If you've never seen this performance, there's some brutal performance happening here. They show like this guy getting his eyes gouged out, and then he like touches his forehead and magically regenerates his eyes. And there's like some weird, like really weird shit going on here. And there's some American politicians that support Shen Yun, which makes me think that they're like bought out. And this group, who many have accused, allegedly, my lawyers tell me I have to say the word allegedly. Allegedly, they are a cult that they attack China, the government. And some of the things that they say seem pretty weird. Like, the Chinese government accuses us dancers and us purveyors of our weird little religious, but not religious. It's not religious. Oh, crap. See some of you on the other side of ad break. That there's like, you know, there's some religious ideology, some personal improvement components to the religion behind the Shen Yun dancers, that the Chinese are so anti-religious that they've come down on us for even talking about improving yourself. And so they pass these weird concepts like the Shen Yun people, the Falun Gong, I think it is. Yeah, Falun Gong people. That's the sort of the cult behind Shen Yun. The Falun Gong people are harvesting human organs for an organ trafficking project or business. Now, if you did research into Falun Gong, you'd probably realize they're not doing any harvesting of organs. And the only people who are accusing Falun Gong of doing harvesting of organs, it's not the Chinese government like they say it is. It's Falun Gong people who are accusing the Chinese government of accusing them. Did what I just say make sense? So in other words, they're